Welcome to episode 7.
Episode 7.
Featuring my brother, Joseph Jamir, better known as Jamir. Welcome to Lunch with Lawrence, brother. How you feeling?
I'm excited to be here, man.
Man,
I'm really excited to be here.
Hey, man, listen, I've been reaching out to you, man, trying to get you on. I know you're a busy guy, man.
Connect the dots.
Yes, sir.
But this is perfect, man. This feels right.
Man, listen, I'm happy you say that, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy you say
right.
that. So, Joe, Jamir, you go by, people call you Joe or people call you Jamir? I call you Jamir. Which one is it? Because I know on Instagram.
You call me Jamir because you're family.
Okay, because I'm family.
But I have a lot of people that just call me Joe because
Joe.
it's kind of like the professional world being introduced.
So
as a businessman, you know, sometimes you have to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
So when you reinvent yourself, you know.
So there's a difference because on your Instagram is
It's Joe versus Jamir.
Joe versus Jamir.
Yeah, I'm still the same guy.
Who are you today,
I'm the same
man?
guy.
Oh, same guy.
It's the same guy, but you know.
That's what's up, man. So Jamir, man, we've been friends for a while, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember how we met?
I do. I don't even think we have to go into that story, but I remember how we met.
Yeah,
and I think it's a blessing, man. I think everyone comes into our life at different times for a reason.
Most definitely.
And at the time when you and I first connected, never knew that our journey would bring us to this point here.
Yeah,
and we can connect on all the different levels that we have. So I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I love relationships with people, man. It's important.
It's so important.
But not just any type of relationships with important and good people. Because it's a lot of different type of people in this world, but when you come across some good people in your life, that's it.
It's good to maintain that relationship.
Absolutely. It's very important.
Most definitely.
Very important.
Most definitely, man. Well, as you know, Jamir, my show, Lunch with Lawrence, I am bringing entrepreneurs onto the show that are from the city of Cleveland that either have a business here or they may have moved out of state, but they have a business here, but they're an entrepreneur realm. And, of course, you are doing your thing, brother. So I wanted to, go back to, I'll do this with every guest, go back to the beginning as far as where your entrepreneurship journey started. Because when I first met you back then, I don't believe that not to my knowing, that you were you were doing any type of entrepreneurship thing. And then all of a sudden, you just popped out boom. You know what I'm saying? So talk about that journey, man.
We could talk about it, man, because, and this is all fresh for me because I never really had a conversation about it. I never really talked much about it.
Yeah.
And I never really sat back and just considered myself an entrepreneur, honestly.
Man, well, you are.
The reason,
you are.
And the fact of the matter is I am. You're right.
Yeah.
But I never have just sat back and said, you know what, I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business. I never really get into that. Even when introducing myself to people, I just look at it still as work. And really not necessarily work. I just look at it as I just do what I love. Yep. I'm doing what I love.
Yep.
That's all it is.
That's the best part.
And you kind of know what comes in being an entrepreneur and kind of working for yourself and everything that comes with that. So as I go back to the journey when I first started, I had a bunch of different jobs. Yep. I was working at Cleveland Clinic. I managed a couple of financial institutions. I was at U.S. Bank managing. So I did that a lot. But then I took on a position out at the nightclub. Okay, so now I'm down here at the nightclub, and I'm working for some hardcore entrepreneurs. Yeah. And I was seeing things from a different angle. So my perspective started to change when I seen people not having to get up early in the morning, or they're moving how they want to move, and it just the level of freedom that they had was very intriguing. So, but then it was very discouraging at the same time because they're able to move how they want to move. They're able to kind of get up when they want to get up, flow how they want to flow. But then I have to get up and go to work in the morning. I'm tired. And it was just different. It started to feel different when I started to see people kind of living life on their own means. But for me, I just still was in the structure of working for someone else, and I feel like I wasn't able to kind of spread my wings. I feel like my wings was clipped working for other people, and I wasn't able to kind of soar and fly as high as I wanted to. I felt like it was just, when working for people, it just didn't work. It just didn't work.
It's not for everybody.
It just didn't work. So it was moments and points where me working for some people, they're giving me tasks and things to do. And I felt as though my level of knowledge and my creativity was on a higher level than the people that were giving me tasks and telling me what to do. It began to rub me the wrong way, and it didn't settle too well. And having to tell people when I want to take a bathroom break.
Yep.
Or someone's telling me when to go to lunch.
Yeah, man, that was one of my biggest things. I remember one of the last jobs I had worked. I was a teller at the bank at a Citizens Bank. It was Charter One back then, and I remember we changed managers, and my manager was I'm not gonna say the word, but she was one of them,
Right.
And I just remember like being a teller. I think I was at the time I had to be making maybe $10.50 an hour,
right?
You know, but I was counting hundreds of thousands of dollars every day,
and I
had to do it on my feet. We weren't allowed to have chairs, so you telling me I had to dress up every day, I had to wear a button-up shirt, some khaki pants, and some dress shoes, and a tie,
right,
to make $10.50 an hour to count money for people, and I got to do it standing up all day.
Wait, Larry, it's not just counting money; you counting large sums of other people's money.
Yeah.
Oh, it just didn't work for me. I was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
When I was in the bank industry, I was doing the same thing. I said, you know what? This just don't feel right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right.
But somebody has to do it.
Absolutely.
Somebody has to do it.
Someone has to do it. I just don't think it's going to be
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just was one of those situations where, like, I just can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and count other people's money. I can't sit here and not allow my level of creativity be showcased on a platform that I feel like it should be showcased on. And I just wanted more. I just want more out of life.
Yeah.
So, of course, me being a spiritual individual and a God-fearing man, I just began to pray about things, and things began to come into a different perspective for me.
That's what's up.
And the journey is a sweet journey, man. I love it. Yeah. I love because everyone has different valleys that we travel into. So I love the down stage where I was trying to kind of like get to where I really wanted to be. You know, different hardships, different barriers, different. We have to like go over a lot of different. It's a lot of different challenges that we run into when trying to become an entrepreneur and trying to make things make sense.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
When you look back on your journey, you know, those doors that close, you know, trying to find the right locations, trying to find people that can kind of steer you in the right direction, because it's very difficult at times to get help from people that are genuinely trying to help you versus people that are trying to lead you in the wrong direction. You know, a lot of people aren't happy for your success. A lot of people aren't trying to see you become more successful than them. You have a lot of type of people in this world.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah. So
we're gonna talk about that.
I was blessed enough to connect with all the right people.
That's what's up.
I've tapped into you plenty of times for some resources, man. I think that's extremely important that you have people around you that genuinely care and want to help you. So.
So let's get it. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. You have a business here in Cleveland. You have an actual brick and mortar.
I do.
A clothing store.
I do.
What is it called?
It's called Tailored Epiphany.
Tailored Epiphany.
Tailored Epiphany.
Where did the name come from?
Funny. So I used to always look at my father's GQ magazines from the 70s and 80s, looking at style, different trends back then. And there was this one magazine, this one GQ magazine. I want to say it had like Michael Jordan on the front cover, but I was kind of like flipping through. And around the same time, I was moving into the entrepreneur world, but not from a perspective of wanting to have a store. It was more so being a stylist. So I was styling various individuals, and as I was trying to figure out like what name I was going to go with for like the style. At this point in time, I was trying to create like a style consulting firm, like. So I came up with the name as I was looking through the magazine. It said Tailored Epiphany. So when I seen that, it just kind of like hit me like, I like that. So I started Googling and looking to see if like anyone had the name or anything like that. And it was free and available. And I figured I'll just take that and do it some justice and make more sense.
That's dope, man. So we're gonna talk about the store, but I kind of want to go back actually before we talk about the store and what all it entails. It was a time that I noticed when you like switched up your whole style. As far as like just dress. Like absolutely. you know, all of us grew up in the, you know, wearing the more urban clothes.
Absolutely.
And then it went from like Jamir went from like that urban streetwear to like suits. You know, the scarves, the hats. Like that's why when we came in here, I had American Gangster playing because But on a like a European sharp, you know, successful like level, like just dress for any occasion. And every time I would see Jamir out, whether I'm going at the club. You know what I'm saying? When you say you had worked for the club at one
Right.
point in time, you know, you was always just like suited, very professional. Always, you know. So when did that shift happen where you just started dressing like that?
I think for me it was I began to see the world from a different perspective. I started traveling. I went over to Milan, Paris a couple of times, Rome. I just started seeing things different.
Yeah.
So here in United States, I feel like it's very trendy with what everyone does. They kind of follow what everyone wants to do.
Yep.
I never wanted to like follow anyone when it comes to me and my own individuality and style.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to just follow what I see people doing. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit and kind of like fall into what I feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
And when I dress a certain type of way, it just makes me feel good. And I've just always been into fashion. And been into fashion, I feel like there's different seasons where you kind of like change your style up based upon how you feel, what you have going on. Going into the entrepreneur world, I hear a lot of people say things like, when you have money, when you're rich, you don't dress like, you know, you don't dress in suits anymore. You have rich people that just wear tees and shirts.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
For me, I don't care how much money I have or how much money I don't have. I'm going to dress how I want to dress.
Because it makes you look good, you feel good.
Absolutely. I just like to dress how I want to be. What's that quote? Dress how you want to be addressed.
Dress how you want to be addressed.
Dress how you want to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's where you laugh and you talk about like the Joseph or the Jamir, which is just my first and middle name.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Joseph is more of a professional name. And of course, it's like, it would be like on resumes. And when I was in school, that's the name they go off because it's my first name. No one really calls me by my middle name.
Yeah.
But if you catch me, Jamir, you know, you might see me rocking a little bit of urban wear or something.
But
like
listen,
that,
that's with me, like, you know, Larry and Lawrence. So, you know, growing up, I gone by Larry forever. Everybody knew me as Larry. But then once I crossed over into that entrepreneur realm in my early 20s, on the professional business side, everybody addressed me as Lawrence. Like, I was like, you know, I just want to go by Lawrence and kind of switch it up. I don't want my clients and my investors calling me, hey, Larry. Like, no, you call me Lawrence.
Yeah.
Everybody else, family and friends, call me
Absolutely.
Larry. You know what I'm saying?
It only makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the shop, man. The store, not the shop. The store, man.
The shop, same
Yeah.
thing.
So
I prefer to call it anything but a boutique.
yeah, it's not a
There's
boutique.
something about a boutique that makes me feel like it's just a store for women or something.
Yeah,
like
no, it's not a boutique. So, man, one, it's high-end clothing. You put it together, man. First, tell people exactly where it's located.
It's located in Pinecrest. So if you're trying to find it, we're on Google, so you can Google it. It Google Maps you right there.
Yeah.
But we're right next door to the AC Hotel,
AC
right
Hotel.
across the street from Orange Theory, right outside the parking garage.
Yep.
It sits right there on the corner. We kind of like have our own little block, own little zip code.
What made you choose that location?
Pinecrest?
Yeah.
So before I was downtown in the Tank building. I was downtown. I had a pretty sweet setup. On one side, it was going to be the clothing store. On the other side, it was going to be a grooming shop. But the opportunity presented itself up here at Pinecrest, and it just made more sense for me to be in a new development like that.
Yeah.
And I was pretty excited about the opportunity when it presented itself, and it was everything I wanted it to be. Yeah. And then what made it make more sense is that I prayed about it, and it came into fruition. So,
man, the space is amazing, man. So, when I walk into this space, you got a pool table in the center of the room, dressed up with just different like things. You have in the back of the space, you have the barber chair, you got the shoe shine, you got the bar, which is nice, exquisite bourbons and what other just good drinks. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Whiskeys and bourbons.
Yes.
You got the changing room. Just the design. So like, who created? Who built? Well, one, who came up with the vision for the store? Did you have any help with that? Who designed it? You know, what was like? Talk about that process.
Yeah. So when I found the space had nothing but rocks. They didn't even lay the concrete down, and there were no windows. There was nothing. It was a shell.
Wow.
Yeah. And I kind of had in my mind exactly what I wanted to look like.
Yeah.
I always had in my mind, if I was to do a space for a gentleman, what I wanted to feel like. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of inspiration that I received from traveling to like New York, France, LA, Chicago, because some of those places have some of the best shopping experiences you can ever receive for men and women. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to take pieces, but bring it to Cleveland and make it where it was functional and made sense for people to appreciate. Every time we go other places and we travel, we always find places that we love. Mm-hmm. We travel to those places because of that. Yep. However, when we're here in Cleveland, I feel like there's a few places that are missing some things. And that's why we travel away from Cleveland to go and visit. But I wanted to bring something here so you don't have to travel so far. Yep. Maybe just 15 minutes of that. Yeah. And visit the shop, and we can provide you with that level of experience and that quality of clothing and the knowledge and just the feel-good feeling that you receive. And it's a warm welcoming. So that was always something important that I wanted to provide and bring. So when putting everything into the store, I wanted to put things into the store that people could like appreciate as far as the aesthetics go. Yeah. So a lot of the shopping I did from Restoration Hardware and Our House Furniture. But then when just putting everything together, I just wanted it to just make sense. Yeah. I just wanted it to be something different because we have clothing stores in Cleveland. Right. There's plenty of nice clothing stores in Cleveland. However, I didn't want to make and create something that was similar to something that was already there. So I wanted to add different things to it. So I feel like having a barbershop and a grooming area there makes sense as well. Yeah.
It's a vibe, man. The whole store is a vibe.
It's like a one-stop shop type of situation where if you're looking to get garments for a wedding or if you're looking for a night on the town with the fellas or a date night or whatever the case may be, we just want to provide all the different garments and all the different elements an individual would need to kind of like get them through their day. So we have all the essentials in place to make sure that we can kind of accomplish those things.
Now, where do you get, and without giving away too much information on this place, but like I have purchased the coat from you. Yeah. And I may bring the coat down and put it on so y'all can see it.
I have to be honest with you, because you purchased that, I didn't purchase it. No, seriously.
Like
because it was kind of like a one-on-one piece.
Yeah, so, Jamir has some exclusive pieces in his shop where it's like, maybe only 3 or 4 people, like 3 or 4 pieces exclusive that you can't find nowhere that would come from like overseas or different places. Yeah, man. So I've spent some good money in there, man. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Yeah. One thing I do want to get is I definitely want to get suits. Like I feel like I'm excited you on the show, man. I want to. My goal is to really promote this as much as possible because I would love to see like it's so many weddings, right? I know you're already a busy guy, but I would love to see like our people come shop with our people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Weddings and events. So, I just want to make sure, like, even for me, the next wedding that I may be in or attending, I want to make sure I come get my suit. Because I came to you recently, but it was like I waited too long. Yeah. So I know suits take time, turnaround time. So, like, what's your turnaround time right now if somebody wants to come in and get a suit?
Our turnaround time is about 4 weeks right now.
Okay.
4 weeks turnaround time.
Okay. So that's
However,
good to know.
we can expedite the situation and get a suit to you in like a week. It's going to cost you.
It's going to cost
you. But we can get it done.
Yeah.
We can get it done. And we have plenty of fabrics, plenty of details, down to the buttons, down to the functionality of how you wanted to wear, look, everything. Yeah. It's very much the detailed situation for an individual that wants to set themselves apart from shopping off the rack. Yeah. I just feel like it becomes a point in time in a person's life where you have to elevate your style.
Listen,
and
that's real talk.
And with that being said, you have to tailor your garments to your likings. That makes sense for you. Yeah. Yeah. We grow, like that. We grow through life. If you're still shopping at the same places as you shopped when you were in high school or college, it's an issue.
Talk to me.
So we grow. We grow through life. Everything is different from how we eat, from the things we like. Our palate changes, and it just needs to change across the board. So if you're still like shopping, and I don't want to kind of throw any names out of there, but if you're still shopping off the rack, right? You're trying to get a piece to fit you off the rack. That's not a suit for you, right? Because it's 100 people that's going to pick up that same piece. So that's where the epiphany comes in. And it's like, you know what, I need to get tailored. So then you need to come to Tailored Epiphany, so we can get all your pieces and your garments for you. And our garments are created where it's quality above all. So it looks as though it's you're just spending a lot of money, but in reality, you're not. You're actually investing.
Yep.
So just how women look at buying these purses, and they're like they're investments, and I agree they are. When you spend that type of dollar amount on your garments or your items, it is an investment at that point.
It is.
You're not just spending just for it to last for a night out on the town.
Exactly.
You want to take that piece out the closet 2 or 3 years later, and it's still like new.
Still
That's
like
an investment.
And it's just the quality.
Absolutely.
Quality.
Quality for sure.
Like we're not, like I said, we're not gonna drop any names of other stores, but you definitely want to come in and you pay for quality. Like people pay for other things high end, but like you said, you got to do it all across the board.
Absolutely.
You got to do it all across the board.
Absolutely. So that's why we offer so much with the experience that you receive when you enter. So when shopping, there's complimentary beverages of your choice. If it's water, room temperature, or cold, however you prefer. We have some of the best tequilas, as well as vodkas, as well as whiskeys and cognac. So we offer much to go along with the experience that you receive. And I just feel like a lot of people aren't doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there's other stores here.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to add to it, but we just didn't want to add to it just on the entry level.
Yeah.
Man, so service is extremely important.
Yep.
Quality of garments is extremely important.
Yep.
And the experience is extremely important.
Yep.
We just want to touch on all those bases and make sure that we can fulfill all the level of expectations people have when they come into the store.
Yeah.
Over exceed them.
And you guys do every time. I mean, when I come in the store, I bring my daughter with me, bring Madison with me. Absolutely. She loves coming to the store, man. Chop it up with her.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's just the store is just a very dope space.
Yeah.
But speaking of like investing, we talked about like how women will invest in their bags.
Right.
$4, $5, $6, $7, $8, not $10,000 bags
or more.
Right, $20,000 bags. Same with men. I know you and I. We talk a lot about the wristwatches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see you rocking something over there. It's looking real nice, looking real shimmery on your wrist, man.
It's just a sky dweller.
just a sky dweller.
Just a sky dweller, yeah.
So in your store, you have a Rolex book for men to go through and look at. So I know lately you've been buying and looking into buying and collecting Rolexes.
Yeah.
Which would you consider that an investment as well?
Absolutely. It's a great investment because, as you know, the market for purchasing watches right now is slim.
Yeah.
If you go to a store right now, they pretty much have no watches available for you.
What's today? Tuesday? I was actually just ordered another Rolex on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
I went to Austin's and ordered another one.
Yep, I did a month ago, so I'm still waiting.
Yep.
So
it's about 6 weeks.
I do believe as we become more invested in our lifestyles, we have to be more wise on the things that we invest in that makes more sense.
Right.
And I feel like every man should have a good timepiece. Every man should have a good timepiece. Every man should have a nice pair of shoes on his feet. And I feel like your garments should flow with that.
And you know what? I'm glad we're talking on this because this is the first of my episodes having this discussion.
Right.
And of course, once again, we are about entrepreneurship, but from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, to me, I feel like, matter of fact, I just had this conversation with one of my friends this morning who's about to get a restaurant. Right. I'm not going to say his name or whatever he's doing, keeping it kind of exclusive, but he's about to work on another project, working on his first project, a new restaurant coming to Cleveland next year. And, him and I, we talk all the time about just like that lifestyle where when you are elevating and you are going to certain levels, if you're going to present yourself a certain way to the public,
right,
as in like social media presentation, then you should also, be living a certain way too. So we talk about how like, where you live at, where you lay your bed at night.
Right.
Because you'll see a lot of people out here that, show they have these nice things,
right,
but then they're going home to an air mattress or they're going home to like their houses and they don't have decor, they don't have furniture, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think like it's just important, and these are just of course opinions, but my opinion would be like, okay, you have a nice car, you have, I see you have these things, but you have kids. What type of clothes your kids have, what type of school are they going to?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What type of bed, what type, you know, your
big,
home, your decor.
I'm very big on that, and that's a great conversation piece.
Yeah.
I feel like everything in your life should be prioritized where it makes sense.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, and they're wearing the top of the line designers,
right.
but then their children I see are pretty much wearing,
yeah,
you know, rags, which are far from riches. So
right.
It's one of those situations where I feel like everything across the board should make sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like us as men, we're put on this earth to be providers as well as protectors.
Right.
And when you provide, you have to provide on all levels. When you protect, you're supposed to protect on all levels. So
that's right.
I just think it should just make sense.
That's right.
When prioritizing things in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes sense. So, yeah, let's get into it, man.
Yeah,
let's
man.
Keep
Let's
getting
get into it.
man. It feels good, but let's keep getting into it.
So one thing I like to ask to my single, you know, we don't have to talk about too much in detail, but I know you're single and you're not married.
Yeah, absolutely.
How has
and also please add, I don't have any children.
So my man is single. He's not married. He doesn't have any children. Jamir, how old are you, brother?
We're not gonna get into.
We're not gonna get into all that. Okay, we don't worry about.
They looking on camera right now. They probably look at me like, man, this man is 25 years old. I'm really just 30.
Jamir definitely got the baby face, man. I don't see a gray hair in sight.
Already just 30.
You look at me, y'all. Look. Well, I turned 37 this month. Cancer. Shout out to all my cancers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Happy birthday to all my cancers, man. I'm July 21st. I'm on the very end of it, but So, you know, Cleveland, man, like being an entrepreneur, I'm single, you know, as you know, I was married. I'm single now. I know you're a single individual. Like, how has it shifted as far as dating when you, like, got into your flow of being an entrepreneur? You're doing your thing, you're moving, you're building businesses, you're creating designs, and it's like, but you still seek companionship. You still want to go out. You still want to talk to people.
Absolutely.
So has the taste of women, because we just talked about changing up,
for sure,
you know, our lifestyle and bettering ourselves and elevating.
Sure.
Has the change in women shifted for you as well?
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Okay, it changes on a lot of different levels for a lot of different reasons. For example, when you grow through life, growth is actually the level up. What everyone talks about, I want to level up this, is actually growing. That's what it is. So when you begin to grow, you begin to see things differently. And you begin to understand what true value really is. Yeah. So for me, as becoming an entrepreneur, I always wanted someone around me that added value to what it is in which I was doing. And not only add value, but also forces me to want to do more. I think that's important. So when I begin to surround myself around people, if it's me dating or just friends, I just need to be around people that add value, either to my life or I add value to theirs.
Yeah. That is key.
So when it comes to dating, I like to date people that can understand the importance of really sitting down and sharing an intellectual conversation piece.
Yep.
I want to sit down and talk about things that hold value. Where are your goals?
Yep.
You know, where do you see yourself in the future? What are some challenges that you have? Let's really get into it.
Yeah.
So that's where sitting down and dating someone and really going out, spending time with someone. That's what's important to me.
That's what's important.
What we're talking about.
That's good. You hit on some really good points. Does it matter? Like, okay, so let's say you meet a woman that is not an entrepreneur. Does it matter to you as long as that person's adding value to you?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Because everyone in life has their own journey that they want to travel. So I never frown down upon anyone that wants to work a 9 to 5 or anything like that. Because
the reason why I asked that question, because on the flip side, and I get it from a lot of women when I ask them this question that are entrepreneurs, they want their spouse or their significant other or the person they're dating, when they're seriously dating that person, to have flexibility and freedom. So, you know, most entrepreneurs, you know, if you're in your judge, you're doing your thing, you've been in it for a while, you have that flexibility and freedom. That's how I am. Like for me, like if I want to book a flight today to leave tonight, I can.
We can
well,
do that.
outside of me having 2 little kids I got to pick up from summer camp, you know, and my other daughter, I have to bring them with me or arrange sitters, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I could just up and go whenever I feel like it. Absolutely. So then it's like when you are dating somebody who isn't in that same position, great job in their career doing their thing, but they are still stuck to that schedule.
Right.
And I experienced this. I've dated like this before, and it was like, dang, like I wanna book a flight to Miami. What's up? Like, she's like, when? I'm like, well, let's go 2 days. Oh, I gotta work. What about this weekend? Oh, I gotta work. You know, it's just like, I'm gonna go.
It happens.
So,
it happens.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm gonna go, and I've been in that position, and I went.
Yeah.
I see you when I get back.
So you want to get back?
Yeah, I see you when I get back.
So you want to get back?
I see you when I get back. Absolutely.
So and that's the only reason why I asked that question, because I always want to keep it around the entrepreneur. And if you are single and you are an entrepreneur, what is that dating experience like when if you are dating somebody who unfortunately doesn't have that flexibility and freedom? Does it still work? Do you get to the point where it's like, you know what, it's not going to work for me?
You know what? I've experienced.
Unless they're just adding so much value to you, where it's like, all right.
It's happened a couple of times where I was in a position where someone wasn't able to travel and they didn't have the flexibility that I had. Yeah. But it's okay. Life happens where everyone's not on the same page with their lifestyle. Okay. But when we do go out of town and it is time to hang and we do party and date and experience the traveling, it's incredible. So. That's what's up.
Are you dating now, or are you kind of like just?
Oh yeah, I'm always dating.
Always dating. I feel it. I kind of plateau. I'm kind of like chilling right now.
Yeah, I'm always dating, man. Yeah. I love the date, man.
Yeah.
I love the whole experiencing new places with someone, and I just enjoy it. Yeah, it's fun. It's life. Life is real short, man. We have to really appreciate the time that we have. Yeah, with the ones we want to appreciate it with. So
you know what? One thing I want to say. This is what I do, man. I got to switch gears, but I want to tell you thank you. So I like to give people their flowers. Thank you for just being a great friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And quick story, right? So one day I was out on a date, and I went to one of my favorite restaurants, and Jamir happened to be there. We say hi, what's up? And we sit down, and, we order food, we order drinks. Jamir checks out. He leaves. He's gone. And so when I'm ready to cover the bill, the waitress comes over and she was like, "Oh, your bill is handled." I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Your bill is handled." I think I even got a complimentary glass of champagne on top of that. Like the brother Jamir is so smooth, man. You know what I'm saying? I text him. I'm like, "Bro, man, I appreciate you, man. That's what's up." It's just a smooth brother. And then one other time, I was in Atlanta supporting my ex-wife. She was opening her second location in Georgia, and I'm on Instagram posting and put whatever, and Jamir sees it and he's like, "Man, listen, I want to pay for the next 15, 20 people ice cream sandwiches on me." He just Apple paid me, like, send me an Apple Pay for a certain dollar amount, and I'm like, "Oh." So I go in, I'm at the register, and I'm like, everybody ice cream sandwiches on the house, because they're like, and she like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Man, Jamir paid for like 20 people's ice cream sandwiches." Like, you just love. So, man, thank you, man, for just always being so supportive, man, and just showing that love.
You're more than welcome, man. The reason why I do things like that, honestly, man, is because I want to be a blessing. Yeah. I feel like it's important to be a blessing and to show my level of appreciation and love. Yeah. I'm big on that, and I feel like one of the ways in doing it is your actions. Yeah. So I love to always act on how I feel about my family, loved ones, and friends. Not even just that, man. It's been times where I'm out and I may pay for someone's stuff that's like right in front of me, whatever the case may be. It's not because I'm balling crazy or anything like that. I just feel like you have a couple of people in this world. And as men, you have a lot of different guys that's in this world, but in this world full of guys, man, be a gentleman on all different levels. So I like to be a blessing and shower love as well as to receive it whenever the opportunity presents itself. So I don't mind doing things to show that.
That's what's up, man.
But so I'm glad that you remember those.
Yeah, man. Come on. Hey, listen, too, man. Listen, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Things like that, I always remember, man, because it's not often as a man in our positions, like, we're the ones that are always giving, right. Like, I'm always giving. Right. Family, friends, business partners. I'm always dishing out. Right. And it's like, it's not often where somebody actually will pour into me or just surprise me with a blessing. So when I do get blessed like that, it's like, man, like I'm caught off guard.
Yeah.
And so things like that, I'm always going to remember. You know what I'm saying?
I never do anything to look to receive anything back.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not about that, man.
Yeah.
It's about just really being a blessing.
Yeah.
And just showing love.
Most definitely.
That's like the real definition of like showing love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times people feel like showing love is just being there, and I really have a theme with that whole level of showing love, word of that whole supporting, because people really don't really know the true definition behind it or the action that goes behind it.
Mm-hmm. Love is an action word.
It's an action word.
Yeah.
Support as well.
Yeah.
It's an action word. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people tend to misconstrue exactly what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Well, look, man. One of the last questions that I ask, and if there's anything else that you want to talk about after this question, man, listen, the cameras is rolling.
Oh, I do. I have something good I want to get into.
Okay,
so
I
want to pick your brain on this.
All right, cool. So I always ask each guest about Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, you're born and raised from Cleveland?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
The only time I left Cleveland and moved away, I was still in Ohio. I went to Cincinnati. So I graduated from the University of Cincinnati. I stayed down there about 4 years.
Okay.
After I was done. But then I came home.
Okay. So how do you feel about Cleveland overall? And when I say Cleveland overall, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, like having a business here, building relationships here, you know, what vibe do you get from the city? And do you think Cleveland's on the up and up? Do you think it's like, you know, some people feel like, I'm out of Cleveland, I don't want to do it, Cleveland. Like, what's your take and what's your feel on the city of Cleveland?
Cleveland is home. Mm-hmm. This is the home base. Cleveland's where I built a lot of my relationships. Cleveland is what I'm familiar with. However, I know a lot of other cities. But when you kind of put together all the different elements and then your configurations make sense for you to start a business and utilize all your resources, it only makes sense in my brain to have a business where you kind of know the ins and outs, you understand the different values and different areas, you have a support system. And I think it just makes sense for you to build in the city in which you're familiar with. You can go other places as well, but before doing so, I feel like it only makes sense for you to build, depending on the type of business in which you have. For me, a retail space only makes sense for me to build from the ground up from where I'm actually located. Eventually, I would like to go other places.
Okay.
So there has been talk, there has been some showings and discussions about relocating for second locations and some other business projects I have going.
Okay, that are private.
I have a few other projects going.
Okay. Yeah.
But I never really talk about them. Like, honestly, I didn't talk about the store. I didn't talk about the store until it was maybe 6 months open, or maybe even a year. I really don't talk about it much at all. Yeah. And we can get into that too.
We can. Look, you already.
I want to get into that too.
Yes.
We can get into that too.
Yeah.
But I love Cleveland for what it's done for me. I love Cleveland for all the memories I have here, the relationships I have here.
Yep.
But the number one thing about living in Cleveland is that you can always travel away.
Yep.
But you have home that you can always come back to. So I'm able to travel whenever I want. Like 3 of my favorite places to travel is New York, LA, and Paris. Mm-hmm. What are yours?
Man, I'm a Florida guy.
Florida.
So I love going to Florida. Cabo?
Cabo, yeah.
Cabo, yeah. Like it's a really nice place out there, Cabo. Last time I was out there, like I actually was like walking around like the city, you know, off the resort. Oh yeah, it's so nice.
So wait, have you been to France?
I have not. So I haven't been to France or Paris or any of them places yet. Not yet.
I've done the European cities, but for me now, I kind of want to do like Egypt. I want to get to Africa.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm doing a disjustice by not going.
Man, listen, man. Hey, listen. I always tell people, man, especially people in your position, as in you're single and you don't have any children, okay? Now, I could go anywhere I want with my children, but it just costs more. Yeah, and you kind of have to plan things out when you travel with the kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if you don't travel with the kids, you got to plan sitters to watch the kids for the length of time that you're gone. Yeah. You know, you got to make sure things is good. So, man, like in your position, man, like, man, go. It ain't even nothing but just to do it. Just travel. And same thing with me. It's just a little more work that has to go into me taking those trips. Yeah. You know, when it comes to the out-the-country trips.
Yeah,
taking trips. Anywhere in the States is like, okay, let's go.
It's important.
Yeah,
you got to see the world as so much.
It's a lot.
It changes your perspective and your vision. Something so crazy because you have no idea what's out there until you go out there and you see it and you experience.
Yep.
Because whatever illustration you've painted in your mind of how the world is, it's totally different once you get there and you experience.
Wow.
From their day-to-day work activities to how they travel to work to how they dress going to work to their after-work activities. I was in Paris. Their happy hour is them like all around like the river. They have like little jukeboxes. They bring out little portable radios, wine, cheese, crackers, and they just hang out. That's their after work activities. That's their happy hour.
Yeah.
Of course, they still have restaurants they go to, but it's just different. It's just a different experience, man. Yeah. But traveling is something that I feel like everyone should do. If they have the opportunity to. Okay. And you live in Cleveland. Because you got to get out of Cleveland. If all you know is Cleveland or all you know is Ohio?
Nah. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah.
Come on. It's a little. It's a little. Yeah. But yeah. That's what's up, we have to get into this next topic that I want to talk about.
So let's talk, man. Real quick. Okay. Go ahead.
So I didn't at first speak on my business and what I had going on. Projects because what I noticed is a lot of people do a lot of talking about what they have going on. Yeah. It comes off as bragging sometimes. But I always have been an individual where, and I was raised where you don't have to talk about what you have going on. Because I think as being young, as a child, and immature, of course, I will always say, oh, I have this, or I'm about to go buy this, or I got that toy, or I got these sneakers. Yeah. My mother and my father taught me that when you have something, you don't have to talk about it. Yeah. It's nothing to talk about. Because who knows and appreciates it and sees it, it's nothing to talk about. They're going to see it. They're going to appreciate it. They're going to see it. So I feel like I took that same lesson learned and applied it to my adult life as I matured and began to work on different projects and take on different things in life. I just didn't always broadcast or talk about it because I felt like it wasn't necessary and needed. Yep. And eventually people would see it. Eventually people would know.
Yeah. I agree. To a certain extent. I don't agree with like people like bragging and boasting about the things they have. But I noticed that you had definitely, like, you're super private. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. But then if everybody was private, then what's the point of having social media? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. so it kind of like...
it's like give and pull. Like, some people, like, you know, for some people, I believe in, like, if you are going to start a business, you know, if you want to share with some of your closest people,
I did.
Leave it at that.
I did that.
I agree. Like when Lunch from Lawrence was coming about, I didn't tell nobody about it. Right. I was just telling people about it. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm working on something. When I call you, I want you to be part of the show. Yeah, that's what but I wasn't on social. Yeah, I wasn't on social media. Like, I'm about to start this, start that. Because when you start putting stuff out there to the public, you know, you have to, like, it kind of forces you to even execute it. Because a lot of people don't execute. Some people are just all talk and then they don't execute. So anytime you have a business idea and you haven't even started it, you don't even have an LLC, you haven't done nothing, why would you go around telling people about it if you haven't done anything to actually get it going? Once you actually have it going and you're like to this point where you're about to open up,
you have to give it time to flourish.
Give it time. Yeah. I agree.
Let it grow. Let it become everything that you want it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like sometimes you get people, and we all can fall victim to putting more into, like, focusing in on the wrong elements and parts of starting a business, or whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah, you put more into talking about it, versus the hard work in which it takes to actually get it going. Yeah. So the focus is shifted. Yeah. So for me, I always wanted to focus on accomplishing exactly what I wanted to be before talking about it and spreading the news about it. Yeah. Like, I just wanted to. And then I just kind of, like you said, I'm very private, so I really never really talk too much about it at all.
And there's nothing wrong with that,
You know,
man.
people
I go on Jamir's IG page. His last post is from like 2019. I'm like,
you know what's crazy? Like I've traveled since my last 6 places I've traveled. I haven't posted anything. Yeah, I don't.
I have some friends like that. I have some very close friends, man. They're very well established. They have a very nice home. And they don't post at all. But they're on social media, but they're just not posting, which I like. I like that. It almost reminds me of like that Jay-Z, Beyonce type lifestyle. Like you have some celebrities that just are like MIA. Yeah. You have no idea where they live. You don't know where they're gonna be at. But then you got some people who are just like, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm on there. I'm popping. This is what I got going on. I'm on there a lot. And for me, when I'm on social media, I'm more so showcasing like my family.
Right.
I'm always on there with the kids.
I feel like
I have some couple soft little flexes on there.
Yeah, but I feel like
I ain't gonna lie.
I feel some people misuse it though.
Yeah, most definitely.
Some people misuse it.
Yeah.
And there's some people that I follow that I enjoy the content in which they post. It's positive, it's good, it's and it's really who they are.
Yep.
And then I feel like there's a lot of people that are posting and
it's for attention seekers.
Yeah. I'm too busy really appreciating the moment in life to take the time out to share. Like I've been to a lot of places. I took so many pictures. Most recently, I did some real dope art museums.
I've seen not to cut you off, but like I seen somebody post the other day, and it is important. They were like, I just got done having the best time of my life. I was too busy in the moment that I didn't have time to literally post every second of it on my stories.
And I had some experience. I have some very unique experiences that's happened, man. I'm so thankful for life in this journey and some of the things that I've been experiencing. But I haven't put it on social media. Yeah. Like I was just in Hermes the other day, and I made some purchases. And it came with, of course, complimentary water and champagne.
No, see stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna like I was saying. I just bought.
But I know people that would.
Yeah. I just bought another Rolex. Yeah. 2 days ago. Yeah. It was a nice price.
Right.
I didn't post it. Yeah. I didn't even post I was even in the store. Like I didn't post I was there or anything.
I didn't post any of my.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do. I'm not doing that. Even matter of fact, when I bought my truck, I wasn't even on social media when I got the truck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was a high ticket, it's a super high ticket.
For me, it's hard for me to.
I'm not posting receipts. I'm not posting how much I pay for stuff like that. People that do stuff like that, like you really want, like, what's the purpose of you posting that you went to dinner and you spent $500 or $1,000 on dinner? Why? Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? That's a grocery bill in my household.
You know why? It's a normal. So when you live, to me, it's just a normal lifestyle. Yeah. I'm too busy living and appreciating my life to share it with everyone. But if you know, you know. If you're around me and experiencing it, and that you know, the people that I care about and love know my life and what's going on. Yep. I don't have to broadcast it and showcase it. And like, it's very often where I may cover someone's bill, or I may just do a kind gesture, but I don't do it to broadcast.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't at all. My dad, he's recording. I know he probably knows his Bible verse. You may know it too, but it talks about, I'm not sure what part of the book it is. Don't ask me. But in the Bible, when it talks somewhere about like when you are giving, basically like you do it like almost in a private way. Like you don't boast and brag about giving or your tithing. Like, I gave a homeless person $1,000 today. Like, nah, because you're not being humble, and God doesn't like that. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And also like don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's very childish.
So
and immature. And the Bible also talks about when you're a child, you had a lot of reasonings of how you reasoned as a child and immature, but then when you became an adult.
Childish things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, look, Jamir, this was great, man. This is wrapping up, brother. Wrap it up. I know you are.
I'm so comfortable. I have so many more things to talk about.
What else you want to talk about? Yeah, well, because it's the end of the day, and we're still keep recording, Dad, because I'm gonna edit everything.
I have something else I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, let's talk about it then.
It's a sensitive subject. All right. But I just want to know your views on
well, hold on, real quick, Dad. How far are we in?
49.
Woo. 50 minutes.
Like 49 minutes.
50, yeah, it goes by fast.
We haven't.
Yeah.
We have.
My longest episodes with Paul, which was 50 minutes, I narrowed it down to about 46, and Kat was like 43, 44. Okay. Go ahead, though. Let's talk about this. Come on, this is the last one. Important. Yes, let's talk about it.
What is your take on us as African Americans, blacks, speaking on businesses that we own, stating that it's black owned all the time? Like, yeah, I have this black owned this, or you need to come support this black owned that, and yeah, you know it's owned by someone that's black. What's your thoughts on that?
That's a really good question, and it's not too often where I'm being asked the questions.
Yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on that.
So
your take.
I 100% agree. I think that is a good thing, because as black people, what was taken away and stripped away from us is still affecting us to this day, believe it or not. I was having, I'm gonna get to your question, but I was having this conversation with my ex-wife the other day, and we had she had mentioned something. She was like, man, if I could just get free labor for a year in my businesses, where I could have people make the cookies and the ice cream and run my businesses for a year without having to pay them. Right. For 1 year, she was like, you know where I would be? And then they just both hit us at the same time. And we was like, damn. They was like, they got that for 400 years out of us. That's why they so wealthy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because for 400 years, they got free labor. Right. We built roads, we built cities, we built towns, we built businesses. Off our ancestors did all that. Right. And then we were destroyed in the midst of doing it, because we were separated. Fathers were taken from us, children were taken from us, and then they turned us against each other. Right. So we grow up like not liking each other. We learn to like not support each other. We learn to, oh, that person's doing better than me. I don't want them doing better than me. Right. That comes from the field nigga and the house nigga. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So, now we're at a place where, entrepreneurship is what's in. Black people are supporting each other. We're opening up more businesses. And, there were so many other businesses before where we were spending our dollars with those other people, which is still fine. But then it's like, listen, I have a black-owned establishment where I'm doing the same thing, if not better, of higher quality. Like, I have a black-owned business. Come support my black-owned business. Come spend your money with me, because we find ourselves as a race spending our money with other races and not keeping our money within each other. Right. So I'm big on that. Like, when I tell people about your store, I'll be like, man, it's black-owned. My brother, hey, go get your suits, because you need to get a shot with him. Like, you got a wedding, go see my man Jamir. Go get tailored with Jamir. Get your suits from Jamir. Keep the money in his business. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm excited for the city of Cleveland, because there's so many new black-owned establishments opening up in Cleveland. You got, like just the new Grill 55 downtown that opened up. My dude Free is working on something. Like so many people. I can name drop a lot of names. Yeah. You're working on something. Mad, DJ KY. I mean, it's so many people that are opening up businesses in the city, and it's like, yeah, these are black-owned businesses. It needs to be known, and I'm going to support that. And so that's why I'm big on, with everything I wear on my show, Lunch with Lawrence, is black-owned. So, like, even this this sweater here that I got, I'm going to shout them out. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I would have known that's what you were doing.
My hat, but that's just me. That's just me. Now, I do have on a pair of Gucci shoes, which Gucci don't really care nothing about us. But, I just want to throw on some Gucci shoes. Right. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm showcasing just black excellence in the city of Cleveland. That's the purpose of my show. So thank you for asking me that question, Jamir, because I am big on supporting black-owned businesses.
So I respect that. I respect that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But there's so many different ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah. And I love supporting people. I love supporting our people.
Yeah.
I just feel as though at times, it seems to be more times than none, that you have people that are more focused on screaming and promoting that it's black-owned than they are actually creating what a black-owned business could and should look like. So I look at a lot of situations where people are always talking about this black on this and this black on that, and when you go in there and what you see and what you are experiencing is terrible. Just call it what it is. It's terrible. The level of service is bad. They feel because we're both black, we can talk to each other however we want.
And that's not true. That's not true.
I feel like the experience is terrible. Because they feel like they know what it is what it is. What you need, what you ordering, and it's just different. It's like, how are you performing and acting like this? The performance level is not met. It's not reached at all on no level whatsoever. So I feel like sometimes when we say that something is black owned, is actually disjustice sometimes, or not disjustice. That's not the word. It's a disservice.
Disservice. Okay,
it's a disservice. Because if you look at a lot of issues that we can run into when we go to a black owned business, we run into a lot of issues everywhere too. So there's so many different ways you can look at it, because we can go to McDonald's. McDonald's a mess. I don't want to say that because I don't go to McDonald's.
I'll say. But it's an example. We're not eating fast food.
As an example, we could go to Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
They'll mix up our order.
Chick-fil-A is probably the only fast food that I actually eat and allow my kids to eat.
Same here.
Only fast food.
I agree. But I doubt it, but they could mess our order up.
And it's a black owned one.
It is.
On Richmond and Harvard.
You're right. So it's a possibility that they can mess our order up. We won't go on and go out of our way to write complaints and do videos and everything, but let a black-owned business mess your order up. And then you're calling friends and family members and you're dragging them through the mud. So there's so many different...
And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's the mentality of our people.
Right.
It's just messed up.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, I don't broadcast that my business is black-owned.
You don't have to.
Exactly.
You don't have to.
I feel like I want people to appreciate what it is, regardless of who the owner is.
Right.
So I never really spoke on. This is my first time even really kind of like having a conversation about who is the owner. So a lot of people ask who the owner is, and what does it matter?
Right.
Does it matter who owns it?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I always want to know. What does it matter? I just want to know. So does that determine if you're going to spend money or walk out?
Exactly. That's true. Because people going Saks, Nordstrom, the owner. Who's the owner of Saks?
So this is another thing, though. Because we into it now.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about it. So here's another thing. So when people realize that your business is black owned or that you're the owner, now they want a discount. See. Now they want a discount, Larry.
That's once again.
So here's my thing. They want a discount. So instead of paying $100, you want to, let me just give you $80. Can you do it for $80? But when you go to Louis Vuitton and Gucci, you're paying full price without a problem.
I don't.
And you don't even know them.
And that's once.
And all you're doing is helping them put another swimming pool in one of their 8 homes that they have somewhere.
Right. It's a mindset thing, man. I think it's really just it's a mindset thing. People just need to shift their mindset. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've never been that guy. When Jamir, when you ring me up and I see the price, here's the card. I go shop with Duck at Layer. You know what I'm saying? I went in Layer, bought a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm the same way.
Boom. I shot with my dude Duff, and I'm just shouting people out. Shot with my dude Duff. I went inside Duff's the concession stand.
And all those places that you name, I've been to.
You know what I'm saying? Boom. Here you go, Duff. Like, I don't want no discounts. I don't want nothing. When I bought my artwork from James, I'm like, James, what's the price?
Same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody that you name.
With Ryan, the art piece right there. I'm like, Ryan, what's the price? I think Ryan was like $400 or something like that. I'm like,
the price is the price.
It's the price. It's the price. It's the piece. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
same.
It's
just Louis Vuitton. Christian Louis Vuitton.
It's a mentality thing, man. I love shopping with my people, and I love paying them the prices, especially if I'm getting good customer service. Like, how can our people expect us to succeed and thrive if we always want to discount? Nah, absolutely. Like, shop with me enough.
Right.
And you'll get a discount.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If I keep coming in there shopping, what, like, man, you that person recognized, like, man, you always in my shop, bro, man. Let me throw in this shirt. Let me throw in this whatever. Like, you always shop with me. So I get exactly what you're saying. Well,
we can get a little deeper into it, but we can that's the whole thing, though.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It is.
It's the whole thing. I deal with it because, I'm in the nightlife industry.
Yeah.
So you have people that don't want to pay the price of whatever it costs,
Yeah.
but they'll go other places.
Yep.
And they won't even blink twice at the bill when it comes. They'll pay it.
Yep. Yeah.
So I know that's something that we experience on all different types of levels.
Yep.
And it's kind of challenging
Yeah.
when you try to provide something and people don't appreciate it. But I'm more so just like to create something for people to appreciate.
Yeah.
And if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, then you know.
Man, well, look, Jamir, this was a really good episode.
You
I'm looking forward to airing this.
You keep trying to wrap it up.
I gotta wrap it up.
I won't let you
I gotta
wrap
wrap
it
it
up. We got so much to talk
I gotta wrap
about.
it up, but we're gonna talk off camera, man. So
Your dad in there like this.
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up, man.
I just want to say I appreciate you having me here.
Yes.
Your energy is always good.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, man, it's a smile, man. I appreciate a genuine smile that's filled with love, man. And I look at you as a brother, man. So you're around people so long that you surpass the family, or the friendship stage.
Yeah.
You go into family. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, episode 7, Lunch with Lawrence. That's a wrap. But real quick, I always got to introduce the guest, which was I got her locked in. Jamie Smith with Next Level Caterers is the chef for episode 7. She prepared us a really good meal, man.
We got food.
Huh?
We got food.
We got food. We got food, man.
Sorry, let's cut this off. I'm good.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
So
I know
we gonna break bread. Yeah, we got food. We gonna break bread, but we gonna talk off camera.
Thank you.
It's a wrap. All right, Dad.